Hi friends, in this video we would be learning how to create a SAP BTP trial account. So there are certain steps that we need to follow for creating an account. Is first we need to those who do not have any SAP account, those who have never ever created an SAP account. So first for them they have to create or register into the SAP website using sap.com. Thereafter they need to activate their SAP account. Okay, and thereafter once the account gets activated, then we need to log on to account.hanatrialondemand.com, and there is again a verification with SAP BTP trial account. So in our personal mail ID, a verification link will be going, and you need to click on the activate button from there to make it activated. So before starting up, like creating an account in BTP, I would just like to highlight what SAP BTP is. So, like it's a platform as a service offering model by cloud. Initially, SAP BTP was known as SAP Cloud Foundry. Now the latest SAP Cloud Platform. Yes, SAP Cloud Platform was the initial name, but later on, as SAP has added lots of services and lots of other features, and thereby they have changed the name of SAP Cloud Platform and now to SAP BTP, which is nothing but a business technology platform. So, this in short, SAP BTP generally comprises of two major things, which according to me, okay, one is the environment and another is the SAP services and catalogs that it provides. Okay, by environment, what I mean is it provides an environment to host or run or manage your new application or new enhancement, like enhancement of the existing application. Like what all application, like what all UI application that you create, you are hosting them, or a cap based project you have created, you are hosting them over there. Okay, and secondly it consists of the services which I was telling about. There are many services like SAP workflow or SAP cloud mobile services, SAP business application studio, which is available as a subscription over there, like SAP HANA database or a PostgreSQL. Okay, there are lots of services and subscription offered by SAP in BTP platform, which I will be showing you in a minute. Okay, so there are a lot. So there's a software, so there's a software with which all these environments or the services which have been created, the that software is known as the SAP Cloud Platform. Okay, it's basically an open source. Okay, so SAP Cloud Foundry generally manages and optimally the resource uses hardware connectivity networking. Okay, it is a specialized software basically which optimally provide the hardware resource capability to thousands of application which customer might be implementing as an extension. And this cloud foundry, the software which I am talking about, is not only uses the hardware to run itself. Okay, because there were large number of hardware resource. Suppose you can consider 128 GB RAM, 10 TB hard disks, or suppose 64 GB RAM, 1 TB hard disks. So it just Cloud Foundry not only uses the hardware to run itself, but also to utilize this hardware to provide the computing resource power for the application. Suppose you have created a UI application, okay, which needs all this hardware resource functionality, or which will be you will be hosting that application onto that Cloud Foundry. So those computational power needs to be provided to those application from this hardware, and it is being managed by this Cloud Foundry very well. So this software is installed. You can imagine this Cloud Foundry software is the heart of SAP BTP, which is installed over a bunch of hardware, and this hardware structure will be holding the brain of that software. Like whenever we are pushing any application to Cloud Foundry, like you have created one application and you are putting it into the cloud foundry. This cloud foundry internally creates a cell. This cell will be providing with the computational power based upon the application code. Suppose you have written in JavaScript, or suppose Google's Go language, so respective build packages will be supplied to it, and that would be taken care automatically. We don't, as we as a developer, we don't have to do anything. That will be taken care automatically. Okay, so there are lots in SAP BTP. So let's coming directly to the point. Like, let us create an SAP BTP trial account first. Thereafter, I'll show you in some of the SAP BTP feature that is available in that platform. So as I have mentioned, this is the first step. You need to create an account in SAP.com. So this is the URL actually, www.sap.com. Just put it into your web browser and open it. Once this page is opened up, the first thing that you need to do is, on the rightmost top side corner, you have to select the region. So there are a couple of regions. So based upon your region, you have to select. So for this case, suppose I am selecting as India. The page will again reload, and okay, fine. The page gets reloaded. Now there is a profile icon over there. You have to create on profile. To create an SAP account. Those who have already created an SAP account, they can skip this completely. Okay. So let me create an SAP account for you. So you will have to enter your details over here. So this is just for a demo purpose I am showing over. Better if you can also try with me opening an SAP.com account. Those who do not have this account earlier, their first name, last name, country, selecting a department, suppose consulting, relationship with SAP is consultant. There we need to provide a phone number, and I'm checking this checkbox, and we need to click on submit button. So yes, we have submitted it. So we need to anytime anywhere on activated account by clicking on the button at the bottom of email we send to this as a bonus. Welcome to SAP community. So our email has been sent to this respective email ID. From there you need to activate. So I have already opened up this email over here. So let me refresh. Yes, you can see SAP Universal ID has been created and it has been provided to me. So just there's a, as mentioned over here, that there is an activate button. We need to click over here and activate. We need to create a password over here. Click on I acknowledge. Achha, password does not match. Okay, let me click on submit. It would take some time. Yes, I hope it is done now. This is the screen of SAP Universal ID. Okay, Your account is active with access to a wide range of resources on sap.com. So our account is created now. Now the second step what we need to do is we need to go to this URL. Here enters this URL, and from there the first option SAP BTP Cockpit. Let us click on it. From here we will be navigating it to that account hanatrial.com. So just scroll down. There's a sign in option over here. Okay, click on sign in. Yes. So from here you will be getting the URL https://account.hanatrialondemand.com. So you just click over here, or you can just separately paste it. So I have just click on the link, and it is navigating it to this page. So guys, meanwhile, for you guys, those who are creating it for the first time, so there would be a separate page that would be coming, and it is for verification of mobile number. So there you need to enter your mobile number, and a OTP will be sent to your mobile number. You just have to enter that OTP code over here and click on submit. Once you have done the verification, it would be automatically redirect to this current page, which is currently displayed on my screen. So here, as you can see, welcome to SAP BTP personal trial account. So here you need to select the region. Suppose there is US East, Amazon Web Service, or a Singapore Azure. So as of now, I am selecting US East. Reason behind this, because it there are a collection of, depending upon the region, SAP BTP has categorized its services and subscriptions. Okay, so I have seen like what all works that we would be doing for the starting from your development of application in SAP Business Application Studio, or using a cap model, or suppose there are a variety of services that we would be working on. So all those services are provided in US East WS region, AWS web service region. So that's why I'm selecting this. People who are finding some other services which is present in Singapore Azure region, they can also select this as well. Okay, so I am clicking on create account. So you will see that global account will get created. Let's give some time to it, let it gets created. I hope you guys are also doing parallelly with me. Okay, a global account gets created. This is a global account number. Like SAP, this SAP Cloud Foundry, it actually provides a fully ready landscape with all reusable services which are used to develop the application. As I have already mentioned, that it is a open source, open standard for platform as a service. Initially, it's not built by SAP. It was a Pivotal's product. Pivotal actually is an organization who has provided this open source platform as a service. Like SAP Cloud Foundry was originally belonged to SAP, like Pivotals. That's a separate organization. Later on, SAP has adopted this platform. So organization ID gets created and space is development. So you can see some information over here. The region is this global account. Okay, this is very important. What is a global account over here? So, a global account, you can think like it represent from SAP point of view. I am telling it represent a customer from SAP point. Okay, for billing purposes, like what all services that we are using in our company, or which are required to build an application like as ABAP runtime, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, or a Reddit MQ. Every services that we use. So since we are here, we are using a trial account over here, right? But when for a official, like when an original account, it would be paid service, not it is a free service. So in a trial account there are a couple of services which are completely free, we don't have to pay anything for it. But in the original corporate account, for we need to pay for all the services which we use, like the services which I mentioned, like from above runtime or a PostgreSQL, and those things will be paid to SAP. So this global account is actually meant for billing purpose for SAP point of view. Okay. Now let me, and another thing, for every global account there are sub accounts. So basically the services are managed at a global level, global account. Okay, at a global level they are managed, you can consider it as a global account. And the company then pays the whatever amount has been billed for, pays the amount to SAP. Okay, it's an overview of all the services which we are using, but the original services are consumed at sub account level, which is mentioned as trial over here. Okay, I'll show you. Let us click on continue. So this is the page, and let's go to your trial account. Yes. So you can see by default SAP has created a trial account for us. By default, we have not created it. We can create separate trial account, trial sub account, I mean to say. So we can create other sub account as well. But by default, SAP has created a sub account which is named as trial for us. Fine. So this is the layout of a global account which is used for billing purpose. Okay, it consists of all the services which we are using in our sub accounts. So in account there are a couple of tabs on the left hand side, that is account explorer, resource provider, booster, system landscape, entitlement, security, and usage, right? So this is the global account, this is global account number, and this is the region that we have selected, this Amazon Web Service US East. Okay, and here you can see there's a sub account, there is directory and sub account, and this is my sub account trial. Okay, so let us create one directory, then let us create a directory. So just click on directory, suppose give it a name, suppose sales department. So this is the parent is the nothing but it's a global account. Okay, sales directory, click on create button. You will see a directory will get created. All the sub account are linked to the global account. There would be a beautiful hierarchy that will be created. Now let me show you the hierarchy how it is. See, if you can, let me open it a bit wide. Yes, so this is my global account. Just now I have created one directory, that's why it is one. And this is a sub account, this is also one, because a one sub account which is named as trial gets created automatically, and it is directly linked to this global account. Now what I am planning is, like I would be creating another sub account, and I would be creating that sub account under this directory. Okay, so as you can see, we have created a directory called sales DPT, which is inside the global account. Right now, in that directory, we can create sub account as well. We can add additional sub account. So, like what a sub account is. So, here's a global account. As I said, it is mainly used for a billing purpose from SAP point of view to the company. Suppose you are working in some XYZ company, that's a corporate company, and whatever services that you have availed till now, like whatever, like you have taken few services like a runtime or a MongoDB or a SQL or a PostgreDB, and so you pay that amount to SAP, right? But those services have been consumed by the sub account, so you can create a number of sub account. You can think of a sub account with respect to department as well, like you wanted to give some set of applications, some set of subscription or a services to a particular sub account. Okay, depending upon, suppose you are giving for a department A, you are giving some set of services, for department B or you are giving some set of application, other application basically. So depending upon the sub account, you can categorize key what sort of services you wanted to give to what, right? Now let us click on the sales department. So this is a directory, as you can see. Now what I said is, we'll be creating another sub account and putting it to a directory. We can do this. How to do it is, like, click on create, click on sub account, and we have to give a name. So trial SD, sales, suppose sales services, suppose. Now we will be selecting a region. So there is basically two region. One is a Singapore region, another is US East. So for this, let us suppose to use Singapore region. Okay, we'll give a description over here. It's a sub account for sales. Okay, now as you can see, there's an option called parent. So parent, this is nothing but the global account. Here we need to choose the department. Matlab that is nothing but your directory, and click on the create button. See, as you can see, the sub account is getting created, and this sub account, newly created sub account, is present inside the sales department, which is nothing but the directory, inside the directory. And other information it is providing, that the region that it belongs to is Singapore. So with respect to Singapore, this region, so the services which belongs to Singapore region, you can be able to access those things only. So it might be possible, like there are suppose 10 application 10 services which are only applicable to Singapore, that may not be applicable to US East. Okay, so you have to choose those services or region very much carefully. You have to first take a list what all services are available in which region. So let us click on this hierarchy option, and from here we can see there is one directory, there are two sub account. And yeah, this sub account by default, which is created by SAP, that is a trial account, directly belongs to this global account. And we have created a sales, this is department, which is a directory, and within this directory we have created a sub account, that is Singapore region. I hope this is clear, guys, है ना? Now this is it. We can also click over here and we can also delete, like if you don't need a directory and all, you can just simply click over here and click on the three dot, and you can edit, move, or you can also delete. So coming to the next, there is a resource provider option. So what is this resource provider? So like SAP BTP allows you to connect to global account to your provider account from a non-SAP cloud vendor, and consume those remote services and resources supported by SAP. Suppose you have taken some service provider, which is something you have provided some other service provider, but it is a non-SAP. So you can all add those non-SAP service provider over here using the resource provider section. You have to click over here in resource provider, and suppose you have taken a PostgreSQL subscription, which is completely non-SAP, right? But you can add those PostgreSQL or a MongoDB subscription which you have taken additionally, or a Elephant database, है ना? So you can add it separately from here. You have to give the provider name, AWS or Azure, provide a name, technical name, description, and those respective ID you can provide. Or if you don't have that ID, you can provide the JSON format file, which is a configuration file. You just have to click on browse and upload. Fine. Coming to the next is the booster. What a booster is? This is very much powerful. Very often you make use of booster. What it does, actually, you can see there are a couple of applications called prepare an account for above trial, set up an account for SAP automation pilot. Okay, so the main work of a booster, actually, it takes care of the required configuration of the services and subscription. It is actually an automated process, guys. Okay, so suppose you wanted to have a account for above trial. This is above trial account. You wanted to get it created. So for creating this above trial account, you need a couple of other services that needs to be installed. Okay, so there are certain other components. Okay, for this there is only one component, that is above environment. Only this has to be installed. Let us select some other services for a clear understanding. Let us see. No, it is also a single services. I'm looking for something which is having multiple services or subscription that needs to be installed. Okay, yeah, we can take this example. So this is document information extraction. This is a service. Okay, so in order to use this service, okay, if you are using a booster and if you click on the start button, so what the required services which is mandatory is this document information extraction trial UI. This is mandatory, and document information extraction, this is a service which is also mandatory. Both needs to be added in your sub account to make full use of it, right? You cannot use it until and unless you are installing or getting subscribed to both the services and the subscriptions. Okay, so if you are clicking over here directly, SAP BTP booster will take care of it, of creating the required instances by it only. Okay, as I have also said, na, this is an automated process, so we can directly start the development with SAP BTP with the required environment. Okay, we don't have to go. This is another process. If you're not installing booster, you can I'll show you. You can go on to the separate section. Okay, and you have to search for the separate, like if you wanted to have that this document information extraction, so first you have to instantiate or subscribe to this subscription, then again you have to subscribe to these services. One by one you have to do, but if you are using that booster, it would be automatically done for you. You don't have to do it separately, and it does consume very less amount of time, and you don't have to worry about what all things needs to be installed and what all the dependent things that needs to be taken care of. So booster does this job pretty easily. So there is another thing called, coming to the next, which is SAP landscape, system landscape basically. So system landscape is nothing, guys. It's something like if you wanted to add any third party system or any SAP system, like suppose SAP Ariba or a success factor SAP system I am telling about, plus a non SAP system, suppose a Google system or any third party system. By clicking on other option, you can register it directly to SAP BTP. Okay, here you need to click on the add button, give a system name, suppose test, and there's a system type available. From there are a couple of SAP system available like SAP Cloud, SAP Marketing, SAP S4HANA Cloud. All the cloud based systems, okay, are available. Servers, CAP server, SAP Success Factor. But if suppose it is not a SAP Cloud, it is non SAP, then you have to select on other system and provide the system details respectively, and you can add that system over here in BTP. Coming to the next slide, which is entitlement. So in the entitlement, the actual, as I have also said, like it's an overview. Okay, they are generally like in the global account, entitlements are managed at global accounts level and are distributed to sub account. Entitlement generally comprises of the services which the sub accounts are using or consumed. Okay, suppose you wanted to work on an application called RAP. Okay, in BTP trial, and you need a above environment, above trial environment you need. Okay, so for that you need to subscribe to that environment, right? The moment you subscribe to that environment, now it would automatically populate over here in entity assignments. Okay, so from here you can provide what all services you wanted to take. Here first of all you need to choose the sub account, so directly I'm choosing the trial sub account. Click on go, and this is a list of all the services which are available. Okay, so you can see that above environment, it is set quota limit is 1, only one unit is available, so remaining global quota is 0, action is 0. So we can click on edit button. We can, if you wanted to increase that quota, we can do over from here. We can make it 0 1. Okay, likewise, see, I can remove, there is cloud foundry runtime memory, we can decrease it, we can increase this quota limit as well. The shared unit sub account assignment basically. Okay, and there is another service assignment. So it lists all the services which are available basically, all the services that will be distributed among the sub accounts. And there is security. There is security, which consists of user, but which user is using this application. Okay, this is a default identity provider. We can also add extra add-on user as well. Like we can add some, suppose some abc@gmail.com. We can add other user ID as well here, default user ID, and we can click on create button. We can create this create button. So this abc@gmail.com, this person can also able to access this btp global account. Thereby we can also provide some respective authorization, like what all services, what all action that he can perform. That can be done from this role collection. So as you can see, there are a couple of roles which are present. Global account administrator. This is a major role, okay, and it comprises of a couple of roles inside. There's a global account admin, global account user, system landscape administrator, user and administrator. So likewise, guys, and there is last is the usage option. It list okay, since it's newly created, no, so nothing is over there, but it lists the usage activities, like what all thing, like what all subscription that we are using now, that user statistic is populated over here. Now let us again go to the, yeah, account explorer. Let us navigate through the trial account. Click on the trial and it would navigate you to the trial account. This is a sub account basically. So in the sub account section, there are again couple of tabs: overview, service, cloud foundry, HTML5 application, connectivity, security, entitlement, and user statistic. So in the general section, there is subdomain, subdomain account ID. There is provider. Yes, we have subscribed to AWS, Amazon Web Service. The region it belongs to. Another important thing is these are the basic information, right? And this sub account is entitled to 79 services, out of which two service, there are two instances and subscription that it is subscribed to. There is a cloud foundry environment. There is cloud foundry environment, as I have already mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial. Basically, it's a software which is installed at a large number of which is mainly used for providing the computational power to the application that is running on SAP Cloud BTP. So there is another cloud and open source software that is called Kaima environment, but currently we will be focusing on SAP Cloud environment only. So it has a API endpoint, okay, and it within that SAP Cloud Foundry there are spaces, that is a development space. What is spaces over here? Like in SAP on premise, you would have noticed like we have development, quality, production. Similarly, you can consider over here as well, like we have created a dev space for our development purpose. There we can create a QA space for testing, right? So within those spaces the original application actually resides. The application, when we move one application to SAP Cloud Foundry, okay, so there are some internal things that are happening behind the scene, but the original application or the subscription that we subscribe to, suppose SAP Business Application Studio, there we need to choose which space that this application would get and sit over here. So this is the development space. Within this, the application containing zero and service instances, like what all services instances this particular space basically the application is using, that count will get populated over here. We can create a space from here as well. Click on space. Suppose I am creating a quality space. Click on create. So there is service marketplace, which I can list the services which belongs to this sub account. Is ABAP environment, okay. We can click on create. Let us see. Now we'll using that booster for this, not this. We'll be using that booster that will get created automatically. See, there is Postgre. I was telling na, PostgreSQL, Redis, hyperscale option, SAP HANA Cloud. This it consists of instances and subscription. So currently SAP Business Application Studio BAS, it is subscribed to BAS. There is one subscription. There is one environment that it's get created. Environment is SAP Cloud Foundry Runtime. Okay, and this is the space which I have told within which the original application reside. I have created two space, dev and quality. Space is consisting of some memory unit. By default 4 GB memory is allocated and services is 400. Okay, we can also allocate some space quota. We can create a space quota from ourselves. Suppose test quota, let us create a quota. Suppose 1024, give a route, give some services 1024, app instance 5, allowed pay service create. So we have suppose created a quota over here. Okay, now what we can do, we can like assign this quota to dev and quality. Suppose earlier what happens, this space is currently using the org quota, organization quota. This space was using. Now what I can do, we can, since I have made some customization and have made a space quota, so I can put it over here and provide the test quota. So this space, this quality space now goes to the test quota that I have created it. So we can do the configuration accordingly. Actually this is not our job, the DevOps team actually does this, all those things, providing who access to the user, maintaining the quota spaces, org member, there are couple of roles. Okay, as a developer we should just have an overview of this, so that we are not like, we should be friendly while using the SAP BTP. We should not be like we don't know at all and all those, but we should have a idea. There is HTML5 application. So actually HTML5 application is what, like when you deploy an application on BTP cloud. Okay, so the static part of the application, suppose it's a SAP UI5 application having HTML5, JavaScript, CSS. Okay, so the static part of the application gets reside over here in HTML5 application. Of all the application, whatever the static part of the application is, it gets stored over here as a it's a repository of stored of all the HTML5 application. And if you click on this, there is a root that gets created. If you click on this root, your application will get loaded from here. Since we don't have any application currently, that's why it's not showing. So here is connectivity and destination. So we can configure, basically we can create some destination by giving some name, HTTP, a description. Suppose for like many, you might must be aware, like when we used to do a configuration with Northwind, so we give some Northwind description, we provide the URL, proxy type, then proxy type internet authentication, no authentication. Okay, we can select from here. Okay, and thereby we select additional parameter from here, that is web id usage plus web id enable true, web id system client, and all those things we used to select based upon the system configuration. And another thing, there is a main thing is SAP Cloud Connector. This is required when you wanted to expose your backend on-premise data to SAP Cloud. Okay, the SAP Cloud Connector is a separate software which is installed in the on-premise system. Okay, and there we need to provide, in that SAP Cloud Connector you need to provide internal host, external host, IP address, and provide it, and also provide, we need to provide the API endpoint of this SAP sub account to the SAP Cloud Connector. Okay, once it is configured now, so that information is populated over here. It is majorly required to expose the on-premise data to SAP BTP. And again, there is some security, like users, creation of the users, user collection, roles, entitlements. These are basically the subscription which we have sent at a global account level. So in the sub account level, this subscription are also getting displayed. Okay, so that's all for today's videos, guys. Just I wanted to show you how to create a SAP BTP account There are lots to dive in more, and thereby we have also showed just a light overview like what all things that SAP BTP consists of. These are all the services actually at a global level again, but we need to create an instance of these services or a subscription. And suppose you have created suppose we have created that SAP Business Application Studio, also known as BAS. So we thereafter we will be opening SAP Business Application Studio, create SAP Fury application or a CAPM project or a SAP Fury element. We would be deploying that in SAP BTP cloud. So there are lots to do. So SAP BTP is just an ocean with lots of things. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for giving your time and watching my video. Thanks a lot.